Happy Saturday, everyone. Oh my gosh, it's like the time zip by. Like I was just like we were just speaking to you like yesterday or something. Welcome back. Again, happy Saturday. I'm glad that you're able to take some time out of your busy schedules just to, join us, to talk, to listen to, what we have to say. And we are very grateful for that. So, welcome again to another town hall, and we are doing a vision satisfaction plan series. Now, if you were not here with us last week and you did not get a chance to like go back and listen to last week's broadcast conversation, oh my God, like you're missing. There's something that you're missing, and I advise you to go back and listen to it because it was awesome. It was awesome. And I'm not exaggerating. There were things that were talked about last week that, oh my God, if you have already put it into, perspective, then I'm sure things are starting to work out. So again, we're talking about the vision satisfaction plan. Let me go ahead and bring it in. First of all, before we do that, because I made that mistake last week, let me start by reintroducing my guest. So, you know what? Instead of me, you ladies, go ahead, reintroduce yourself. Your name is. Go ahead, Melanie. You take it.
Hi, I'm Melanie Holmes. I am the founder and CEO of Fly Women's Network. It is a program that assists women that are transitioning out of incarceration and all types of trauma. Our ultimate goal is to have housing for women where they can thrive and be their authentic self and be able to be self-sufficient women in our community and society. My other for-profit business is I am a nonprofit and for-profit business consultant. So I help people make their dreams reality. It's one thing to see it, but it's another thing to take it and make it action. So I try to help people push through all of these different types of situations to be their purposeful self. So that's who I am. I'm
Love it.
Melanie.
Hi, Melanie.
And
Go ahead, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Go ahead, Josiane.
Hi, once again, I'm Josiane Hunter, and I am course creator of a course called Envision It Alive. And I created that course so women can reclaim their identity and their purpose while they're here on this earth, and specifically mothers, because we tend to forget who we are after having children, and we need to get back to ourselves and find out what we're here to offer the world, which is so many beautiful things. Yes.
Nice. And last but not least, Marcia.
Wonderful, ladies. Hi, everyone. My name is Marcia Lewis, and I'm the owner of Scrub and Glow Cleaning Services. And as it suggests, we clean residential and commercial buildings, and we are your cleaning connection done with perfection. So we'll help you out. We'll help you out. And on the other hand, I should say, so that's on the left, this is on the right. I have M's Enterprise, and that organization helps individuals to be accountable for the goals that they set in life. So whatever it is that you want to do, I meet with you once per week, twice per week, depending on what your goals are. And we strive to achieving that. So I'm there to be the nagging sound in your ears. Did you do that? Did you do this? Keeping you accountable. So that's M's Enterprise. I am actually excited to be here again this week, Nora. So thank you for having us.
I don't think anyone's more excited than I am. Again, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me for another conversation. And we are going to go right into it. Let me share the screen. So here we are once again. I mentioned last week we talked about purpose, right? We checked out purpose, we checked out the definition, the reason for which anything is done and or created or exists, and then we went into different questions that we posed to help kind of do some kind of like soul searching, self check, just to help you with your journey to discovering exactly what it is about yourself, what is your purpose, what is at the core of your existence. And so now this week we are moving on and we are going to procession. Y'all like that, ladies? You see, I got a little handle on it this week, right? Last week it was a little, but I'm thankful for that. So now we're talking about perception. So after doing some reading, this is the definition I kind of came up with. And you ladies back me up. Let me know what you think if you want to piggyback. So basically, I am saying that your perception, right, is your view of reality. It's basically your view of reality based on taking the external factors like what you hear, what you see, things like that to help process what it is that you're bringing in, and then it forms your reality. So okay, did I confuse anybody out there? Because I kind of mumble jumble.
No, sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you. So basically, it's your reality. Your perception is your reality. And if we're asking how does someone form their perception, it's taking different, and it's mainly your senses that you use to form your perception. Some researchers go further and talk about how you have your beliefs along with these external, along with what you see and what you experience. You have already like things like your culture, tradition that help form what now becomes like this conclusion of something or someone. Ladies, what do you think?
You're absolutely correct, Nora. It's a lot of things that it can take our eyes, as you said, or senses, or touch, of what we determine something to be. So it's easy for us to we're talking about businesses and people's purpose, what you're driven towards. So let's look at that. So when someone is on the outside looking on the inside of your business, it's about what do they see? What are they hearing? So it is important that whatever your purpose is, that people's perception will match whatever you desire your purpose to be. Mm-hmm. So ensure that, for example, your logo, is this what you, as someone looks at it, can they determine who you are, what your organization is about, or right, or your statement, your tagline? Can they determine who you are from your tagline, what you're doing from your tagline? So yes, I agree. It certainly has a lot to do with your sight, your hearing, touch, etc.
Go ahead.
You want me to go? Okay. So yes, so I have a different take on perception as it relates to you, the person, and your perception. As you were saying, Nora, like our perception of how we do things is solely based on, the way we were raised, the way we were brought up, and the environment around us as we, go into womanhood and adulthood. But sometimes that perception is completely jaded. We have a false perception of ourself. So sometimes you have to change the perception of yourself in order to be able to fulfill your purpose, because you have to remind yourself of who you are along that journey. So perception for me, it becomes a more personal thing, because these are the things I had to change in order for me to go forth and fulfill my purpose. I had to change my belief system about myself. I had to change a lot of things that I heard growing up that didn't really serve me in a positive way. So perception for me is changing your belief system to remind yourself of who you truly are and your greatness. So that's the way I see it.
Love that.
I love it. Yeah, that's like the what you talked about is like sort of like like you have cause and effect. So you were like talking about the effect of one's perception.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about perception, even of yourself, how did you reach to that conclusion that like when someone
For
believes?
me, it.
No, go ahead.
No, I was waiting for you to stop. I'm sorry, Nora. Go ahead.
That's all right. No, I was just basically trying, like you mentioned something very interesting, and it was, about our perception about ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, and basically just like the definition, what do you call it? Hints at, this perception, however which way you think of yourself, right? There are reasons, there are things that influence
Yes.
why you think of yourself. See, and that's what I'm talking. Those things that influence are those external factors, or those things that are picked up, social media, your family, right?
Yes.
These are the things that help shape your perception of yourself, or someone else,
Yeah.
or something else. So perception. I don't know, Melanie, did you want to, before I go any further, did you want to add to this, or should I just go ahead?
I have one other little part to add. I remember the day that I got a true revelation of perception when I saw everybody has a different view based on this one thing. So it's like a glass. Everybody has a different side that they're looking at. I can see it this way, but if you're on the other side, you could say there's a crack in that glass. I can't see the crack.
Half
I'm
full,
like,
half
there's no crack in the glass. That glass is perfect. You're looking at a crack. I'm not looking at a crack.
Yeah.
The other person on the other side say, hey, there may be a crack, but I don't really see the full crack. I see a little bit of a crack. So no matter what you're viewing, there's different views the way that you look at it. And we can't be so stuck not listening to the other individual that's looking at it at a different angle. And if they're telling us it's a crack there, down the line, the glass that we have, it may shatter, it may break, but it's to protect you to be better. So we have to respect everybody's perception. It's all individualized and it's all at different angles. So that's my perception on perception when it came alive to me, to respect everybody's perception, because it has to come alive. Words can be whatever, but until you get that true understanding, I say revelation or epiphany, or it came alive to me, it doesn't mean anything, because they'll be like, oh, what, this is not, that's not yours, that is not cracked. And they're gonna be like, okay. And that's where pride is there, because you only want to see your way. You don't want to see nobody else's perception. And that's where growth and development comes, based on respecting everyone's perception.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
It's kind of the term that I've heard before. There's no right or wrong. There's just different.
It's just
Yes.
And that's,
Yes.
that's how powerful that is. And you know what? That's why we're here. Because I've discovered that there is something very powerful about perception. Number one, we choose what we allow, right, to shape what comes in. Like based off of what Melanie said, you said, Josie and Marcy, we choose. Like, for example, we're living in a society, right? Social media, that's a huge thing when it comes to, and how, with how it plays on people's insecurity, right? So one person can look at other, maybe how a female is dressed, what she's doing, and like, whoa, she is beautiful. Oh my gosh, she looks amazing. And it'll be just that. Whereas someone else can come in and look at it, and then based on what they see, they now look at themselves differently. They're allowing that external factor, which is social media, to influence how they look at themselves. And that's why we're here, because perception right? Perception about your purpose.
Mhm.
We are here to help guide, right? We're not saying that we have the power to change anyone, because we all know that that's not true based on our perception, one, right?
Yeah.
But we're here to help guide you to, in case you don't know how to renew your mind, in case you don't know
Mhm.
what it takes to, shift your perception so that you can move forward in your purpose. That's why we're here. So
Mhm.
now I came up with some tips. Thank you to you ladies for helping me to come up with these points. So these are points that I want us to talk about when it comes to our perception and our purpose. So I'm just going to bring us up a close up of us, and then you know, uh, I'll just say the points as we move along. So I wanted to see your beautiful faces. Thanks. Okay. So now we're moving to the first point is self-awareness.
Yeah.
Now I brought this because I felt when it comes to your purpose, right? So when it comes to finding out what your purpose is, when it comes to shaping how you're how you're gonna see things, right? You have to do some digging internally,
Yes.
right? So
Mhm.
self-awareness, I believe, is the first step. Ladies, do you or don't you agree? What about this self-awareness, do you think?
I totally agree. I just want to jump on it. And Josiane actually mentioned it earlier when she was saying, you have to consider who you are, find out who you
Yeah.
are. So it's very important for you to do that first, because the influences that we were talking about prior,
Mhm.
can cause you to assess. Well, it causes you to assess yourself, to
Mhm.
really do some self-reflection, and to search it's almost like you're searching your inner being to find out who you are.
Yes.
And with doing that, you're able to action, to bring forth what you really desire to do. And I'm going to say this is going to take some time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't feel
It's
bad.
not
Right.
1, 2, 3. Sometimes you try something, and you send something, and this is what you try, but it doesn't work out.
Mhm.
And I just want to say that's okay. I've been telling you from last week. It's okay. It's
Mhm.
okay to buck your toe, and it's okay to brush yourself off and to get up and go again. We are here today. None of us are perfect. None of us don't have everything exactly right. But what we're doing is trying to share with you our hills and valleys, or ups and downs, so that you can understand. Just keep on going. Don't stop. But find who you are. And once you find who you are, the process will be much easier, because now you have your purpose. Now you are self driven, separate and apart from your external influences.
Mm,
Mhm.
mm. Gotta do
Yeah. Oh
some.
my God, I
So,
love that you said that. Oh,
so good.
first of all, I love that you said buck your toe, because I know that's a Jamaican term. She means like
You brought it. You can't help it.
that means you can stub your toe and keep on going, and it's gonna be okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Can I just say, anytime Melanie starts shaking her head like this, I'm like, I know she's building up on some good stuff, because you're saying some stuff that's touching me, girl.
Whoa, man.
But I wanted to yes, it's beautiful. In terms of self-awareness, oh my God, Nora actually has been with me on the self-awareness journey. And what I love about me and you, Nora, we're always we're always about self-awareness, because we tell it like it is to each other, like what we're going through. But the journey of self-awareness is so beautiful. And that's why I incorporated it as part of my course, because I want people to express who they are at their truest essence. Like me being me right now, that's my truest, like I feel tingles, because I'm expressing my truest essence. And this is what I want for all women to do. So just take the time and find out what it is about you that makes you authentically you, and you, that special person that no one else can be. Take some time to even write it down in a journal. Just start writing and you're going to see where it leads you, because it's going to be a beautiful thing. And then to understand that it's a journey. Like she said, you're going to buck your toe and then you're going to keep on going, and then you go right back to it. Who am I at my core? You know, the decisions I make, is it true to myself? You know what I mean? So self-awareness is so important in the journey towards your purpose. So yeah.
And that's the one key word that I want people to remember is decisions. You know, ultimately it starts with self-awareness, it becomes your perception, but ultimately it's all about your decision making. Like we need ourselves, we need everyone viewing, you know, we need everyone to really see how important how you look, your outlook on things, how it affects your decision. And if we're talking about purpose, it's a matter of life and death. You know, you like because it becomes something where you either start walking in your purpose, you either start walking in who you are, not the you based on what people are saying. See, that's another error in perception. But it's about for you to be like Josiane said, to express your truest essence, right? And then to actually make impact in other people's lives and in this world. Your decisions need to be on point, and that means how you see things need to be right. So self-awareness, it has to be the first step. I don't know. I get emotional when it comes to these things. Journey.
We've been on a journey, Nora. Yes.
Oh my God. I know how many mistakes I've made, or how many moves that I didn't make because of how I saw myself, how I saw things. And it wasn't even a reality. That's the thing. Most of the times what we perceive as a reality isn't even what it is, you know, unless it's something that you have searched within and you have found to be true, and now you anchor on it, right? Self-awareness. Anything else?
Yes, so you know, I'm about to like I'm gonna
That's Melanie.
Preach,
girl.
Girl.
I'm not gonna preach. No, self-discovery. So much stuff goes through my head because through this journey to where I am now, it has been hell. It has been lonely. I've been crying. I've been literally, I'm vulnerable. So I put myself out there. I've literally been to the point of suicide. I've been at very intense places because based on what we said earlier of family shaping you and their false perceptions and society's false perceptions and being a Black woman in business. And it's all of these perceptions that come around you where you're trying to discover, well, who am I going to be? And then when you get into the point of being successful in so many different arenas, and when you get to that point of success there and you're not your authentic self, it's paralyzing because it's like, I made it in corporate America and I'm not satisfied there. I've made it in the church and I'm not satisfied there. I've made it to the clique. I've had the husband and I've had all of these things that I thought was my purpose, where I needed to be, and it wasn't it. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't the view that God had of me. And we're only going to be satisfied until we become who He has created us to be, and not what mom, dad, husband, children, church, America says as a Black woman. All of that, those perceptions play a major role. And in your self-discovery, you have to face it and say, I don't care what they say. I'm gonna be me. And being me is loud.
Right, girl.
A lot of things. And I'm not gonna box it up anymore. I'm not, look, I got a box. I'm not gonna live in this anymore.
Oh, Me either, Melanie.
Take it out the box. Your box is gone. So now I don't limit my ideas and I don't limit what he gives me. Because like we said last week, our seasons and purposes are seasonal.
Yeah.
There's a season we may be with kids, maybe a season we're with women. There's a season we may be ministering to men. There may be a season that you be ministering just to you. You're the only purpose at this point. And it's okay to take. I tell people I took 10 years of purpose with Melanie. 10 years. I had to go through rapes. I had to go through disowning my parents. I had to go through all of that to be able to effectively talk to women to inspire them. And until we get to the point of really identifying all of the traumas or all of the things that created us to make us who we are, and stop hiding.
Yes.
Then we're not gonna. We're no good. We are no good. Self-awareness is you gotta really digest all of it and face it and say that is the ingredients that made me who I am. I had and I forgive my rapists. I forgive the men that use me. I forgive my husband for not being a good husband. I forgive my mama not knowing how to be a good mother. See, those are the conversations you have to come to the real purpose of who you are. Because it's all equipment.
So true, so true, so true.
I felt those goosebumps, JoJo.
Yeah,
I felt it on that one.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God!
What I realized, Melanie, is that you really, really have to let go of those things that you believe are top secret, right? And you don't want anyone else to know.
They're gonna come out anyway.
Still holds you captive. You still don't feel free. You can't be your true self, as you said, Melanie, because you still have these things hiding. So I love that you share that you're so open to share that on this forum, Melanie. That was awesome.
It's true because you know what? The biggest thing it shows that I'm delivered.
Yes.
See, when you can't talk about it and identify it and say openly what you've done, you're not delivered.
Right.
You're not free.
Right.
Yes.
You're not. And that's why women can't go forth with their purposes and their businesses because they don't take the time for self-discovery and identify. Look, I had to identify I'm bad in business. I got the passion. I could talk to women all day. But I had to say, Melanie, you got to educate yourself more and be around the circle that's going to show you how to do business effectively. That's a part of self-discovery. You'll see it, but what network and what things are you doing to educate yourself to make yourself better?
That's it.
We can identify all day. You know, I'm all about action. Oh, I found out I was sick. I found out about this. So how am I going to change that or educate myself with that? Or who is the best at that? Who am I going to watch on YouTube to help me? Or who around me is God going to put around me to coach me to be better? Because like Marcy, I'll be like, Marcy, I'm bad at business, girl. I need you to help me because I know you're going to hold me accountable.
Yes, I will.
And look how everybody be mad at Marcy for holding them accountable, but God made a business for her to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So we can definitely, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you, Mel. We can dive into this. Like I started to just keep the show on the definition. That's what I started.
Awareness thing is deep right there.
I mean, it's a make or break step. That's why it's very important to go through that. And the whole purpose, right, leads to my next point. The whole purpose of the self-awareness and the soul searching is to sift through those internal and external factors, right, that influence your perception. Now we're on actually perception of purpose, because your self-awareness, you're going through you're going through you, getting rid of those things that don't need to be there, like, and we know, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us know some of the stinking thinking, right, that we really need to
Yes,
let go
yes.
permanently. Like, yeah, once upon a time, right, but now that you have established the fact that you want to move on your purpose, it's time to let it go. It's time to let them go. It's time now. It's all about, okay, your perception now on your purpose, right? What are those internal factors? What are those, like, internal factors such as, oh, I can't do it, I'm not smart enough, I don't know how to write, I don't think I'm pretty enough. Like, those are internal factors that can affect your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
External factors, we talked about family, we talked about social media, friends. What are those factors influencing your perception on your purpose? And now it's time to choose. Like we mentioned when I talked about the definition, you have the power to choose what you are going to allow to influence your perception. So now we're on the step with where the first step was about us. The next step is about your purpose. In this step, I need you to identify those things that either cripple your perception and get rid of them, or those things that are influencing your perception positively, building you up, edifying you, encouraging you to move on your purpose. And I want you to stick with those and go get some more. So, ladies, let me take it back to the close up, and then you talk to me about that. We're talking about the internal, external factors, choosing, sifting through, picking up and letting go, just so that we can keep a right focus on our purpose.
Yeah. Nora, because like you said, both of those things matter. The internal perspective and the external perspective. For internal perspective, it's for me personally, it had to be about rewriting my belief system. You know what I mean? And like you said, those belief systems came from external factors because it started from I was a child. You know what I mean? Whether it's my parents, lack mindset. You know what I mean? Now I have to change my mindset to an abundant mindset, to, not to always think of lack, but to always think in the terms of abundance. Or just like you said, all those things you can think about yourself. I'm not worthy, which is probably the number one thing that is really deep rooted inside of most people, the unworthy factor, or I'm not beautiful enough to do this, or I'm not, smart enough to do this. I just want to remind everyone, you have everything you need within you right now to at least get started with your purpose. Your whole journey, everything that you've been through, at least can get you started. Like she said, your story is your start. You have to really dig deep and be vulnerable with your story and who you are. So yeah. So for me, it started, like I said, with rewriting my limiting belief system. And I mean, literally, writing down the truth that God says about me and reading them to myself every day. That's me.
I'm sorry, Jojo. Do you have something in your program, your Envision It Alive program that accommodates that?
Yes, I do, because whatever I used on myself to heal myself, I want to expose it to other women as well. And that's exactly what I did. I had to rewrite my limiting belief system, change my mindset, and understand that, like I remember I told you this quote one time when I was like, everything is created twice. It's created once in our mind and then again in reality. So our mind is creating our reality. So we have to work on our mind. You know what I mean? And in terms of external factor, I'm going to say start surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded to you as you grow, like I'm doing right now, because every one of you guys are touching me and dropping some nuggets that are great takeaways. So that I would say that would be an external factor to work on. Yeah.
That's it. Choose.
Yeah.
You have the power to choose. You choose. You choose who you're going to hang around based on the principles and the standards that you have discovered about yourself, right? Based on now your purpose, you choose who you want around. And it's okay to let some people go. It's fine. I promise you. It's okay. Okay. Let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go. If there are, I remember talking to Judah, my son, um one day, and I was telling him, because we had a purpose conversation. So he doesn't exactly know what his purpose is. He doesn't really know exactly what the next step is for him. So now what I was telling him was, you may want to try to surround yourself with things that'll help make you think. Like, for example, Judah likes to stay in his room, lay out on the bed, and all that other stuff with his phone. And then for some strange reason, he'll have like something playing in the background, some kind of game. I don't know, these games that they play with each other or whatever. So they're talking in the back. So I'm like, Judah, instead of playing that, why don't you play some kind of inspirational video, right? Where the person is encouraging you. Meanwhile, you're there, but your surrounding is filled with positivity, with encouragement. Because what happens is, some of these things, you will pick it up and you won't even know that you've picked it up. So it's good to surround yourself. Just like I've heard along the way, if you want to be rich, if you want to be wealthy, hang around people who are rich and wealthy. Let your external factors, right? Into look, even though you may not have it, but make sure your external, your internal, even the way you think. There's a book that talks about, thinking rich. You have, you choose what is going to help you reach, get to that point where you're moving, your perception on your purpose is right. I'm sorry, ladies. Go ahead. I can.
That was beautiful, Laura.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Did anyone else want to say anything?
So I just want to share something. We're talking about external and internal factors and even our minds. So, and where you want to grow and surrounding yourself with who you need to be. So for me, I would say where I grew up is considered the ghetto, right? And in order, what I saw in my surroundings is not something that I desired. I knew that there was more out there because I was exposed to more. For example, the school that I was sent to, which my mother worked hard to send me to, gave me the opportunity to see that there were opportunities out there for me that was different from what I was seeing every day at home. And so because I was given that opportunity, I thrived for more. I desired more. So my external factors really, really had an influence on me. As you said, Nora, that you see people, and it's not that you're envying what they have, because it's not good to envy. Right? Definitely not a good thing, but it makes you thrive for more. It motivates you. It pushes you than to just sit in one place and think, oh, this is it, when there is more to life. But guess what I've learned too? There is more to life, but you have to get up and go for it. You can't sit in one place and expect it to come to you. You can't wait on your parents to give it to you. You can't wait on your family members to give it to you. You can't wait on strangers to give it to you. You have to have a desire for better. And therefore, if you have a desire for better, then you won't settle. Because a lot of us settle, and we settle. I was at a point that I settled. And it has to do a lot with our minds, as Josiane said earlier too. Our mind is a powerful tool, and it will cause us to limit ourselves. And we're called for greater things. So I encourage you to capture those thoughts that try to come and tell you that you can't go any further. You can't do this. You can't do that. Capture those thoughts and know who you are. Go back from where we're starting from today. Self-awareness. Who are you? And do not let those, you're going to take into consideration, as Melanie said earlier, people's perception, their input, right? The external and the internal factors, you're going to take them into consideration, but you have to know who you are. So that you have a firm foundation, that the next step that you're going to take will benefit you and allow you to thrive to the next phase in your life.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And Melanie, because I know you want to chime in, but if I can please ask you to chime in on this next one. I'm looking at the time, and I want to kind of move things along so that we can close up in time. Can't wait till next week. So the next point, right? The next point is, now what's your purpose? You have done the soul searching, right? You have discovered some things about yourself, right? You have dealt with the factors influencing your perception now on your purpose, right? You're choosing the right people, you're letting go of some thoughts that you shouldn't be thinking about. Now what's your purpose, right? So the reason why I came with this point is because at this point, once you've sifted through yourself and all these other things, you should have somewhat of an idea of what to move on. So Melanie, I want you to, being that you couldn't chime in on that, round us up with this one. Round us up with this. We've done the soul searching. We picked up some principles. We've done the positivity thing. So now at this point, Melanie, what should people expect?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the number one thing that they should expect after all that is success.
Amen.
Oh wow. Wow.
I mean, that should be. I'm sorry, my laptop. If I go off, my laptop went dead and I can't find my charger. But the number one thing after all of this is success. And sometimes we have a bad perception of seeing ourselves successful. Me, I had to go through a lot of mental abuse and physical abuse based on a parent, and I never saw myself successful. I thought a man or a job or a situation was going to help me be successful. But the number one thing I had to know about my purpose, that I'm going to be successful in this, despite of how many times I failed, despite of how many times I had to try again and get up, all I want is success. And it's not even about success for me. It's success about the individuals that you're empowering, and the success of knowing that you've embodied it and you're not hypocritical in it. You are your vision. I am Fly. I am first loving me. I am that women's network. That's who I am. And through those steps that she said, that's how I became my successful me now. And that doesn't mean I have all the money and everything. I'm just already embodied my purpose and I'm walking it out. So that's my part.
That means two hands.
I'm dropping the mic.
That was a great way to, take us out. At this point, there is success. There should be, you are, and the success comes, let me tell you, for you to even get a glimpse of your purpose, that's success. You know what I mean? Like, like a lot of people are walking around here like zombies. Like a lot of people are sleepwalking. So for you to get woke, right? Woken up, I don't know how to, to get woke, that's success. That already sets you apart from millions of people. So at this point,
can I add one more thing? Especially right now in the pandemic. I feel like I'm more successful now when the whole world is panicking. They're acting crazy.
I'm telling you, girl. I'm right there with you. It's crazy, but it's true. It's true.
It is very true. So, ladies, now it's time to say goodbye to all my. Should I go on? All right, it's that point where I have to, end the conversation. I hope my prayer rather is that you, the viewer, you remnants out there, have picked up something or some things, like I know I have, to take and apply to your life. That's when I hear, like, this is not a propaganda. This is like, we're not doing this
Yeah.
to make money, like to what do they call it? To take advantage of anyone's weakness or anything. No, we're not here to just talk. We're here because we are moved, like we are truly moved to help other people become successful in their purpose. First of all, to find out what their purpose is, right? And then to be successful in it. So, as the last point states, now, what is your purpose? Now that you have this glimpse, now that you were successful enough to get a glimpse, it's time to move. It's time to now pursue your purpose. And that is what we're going to be talking about next week. I'm bringing back Melanie, Marcia, Josiane, and we're going to talk about pursuit. Now next week, it's about pursuing your vision, pursuing your purpose. And I hope everyone who sees this conversation will join us next week. As a matter of fact, share it. Share this conversation, because again, this is education, this is information, this is knowledge. So don't just keep it to yourself. Share it. Share it. Let other people get to experience success, right? So thank you, everyone. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so
Laura,
much.
this is all truth.
All true, our truth,
truth.
right? It's something that was, how do they say it? It was something that was tried and we found true. So we just shared it with you. Oh snap! I just rhymed, y'all. Did y'all? I just
You a rapper now.
I know, right? Maybe that's part of my purpose. Who knows? But,
I'm your hype man. Can I be a hype man?
so ladies, gentlemen, same time, same place next week, talking about pursuit. Until then, we love you. Love on someone today. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.